Radio Raheem with David Haye in one of his mini homes.
Yeah,
You spent quite a bit of time in these hallways, man. Tonight, obviously, the fight didn't go the way you would have liked for your fighter, but I feel like the fight was going the way you would have liked for your fighter.
Yeah, we wanted a slugfest. We wanted a war because that's what Dereck does best. Dillian White, he tried in a few rounds to keep it at arm's length, keep it long and slow the pace down. And Dereck's been training diligently on closing that range and letting his hands go. I do feel it was rather unfortunate that the referee decided to take a point. From where I was sitting, I couldn't quite make out what the infringement was for the second point. The first point, okay, there was a few low blows. When you say low blows, they were on it was on the cup. They weren't around the jewels. They was sort of around his belly button. He has his cup very high up on his abdomen, and things happen. He gave Dereck a few warnings, but at one stage it appeared from where I was sitting that Dillian pushed Dereck's head down, and when he said go to the neutral corner, I thought he was going to take a point off of Dillian. I'm thinking, oh, that's great, we're going to even it out. And then he said he took it off Dereck, and I genuinely just couldn't figure out what was going on. The crowd booed. And then obviously in a tight fight, when you're in the heat of the battle and you get 2 points taken off, I was scoring some of the close rounds to Dillian as the referees in the first fight obviously went that way. So I'm thinking about things worse ways. Although if I was a ref, I would have scored a lot of the rounds to Dereck. I'm thinking worse ways. The judges, are going to side with Dillian. I had Dereck obviously winning the fight, but I think it forced him to, maybe a bit of experience, it forced him to sort of try a little too hard, tried to force the fight. He kind of lost his shape and caught an absolute cracker of a left hook. A left hook that he'd been missing the whole way up until that point. But when a fighter feels they're down and they've never been in that position before, you learn a lesson. It was a very valuable lesson he learned. It's a tough lesson to learn, a bitter pill to swallow. But he's fine. He shook it off. He's as he was before the fight. He's a very, very tough individual. And as he said, he told me, I want to continue fighting. I want to continue improving. I want to continue this particular regime that he's put his body through, because you could see the talent out there. And with the added experience from this fight, obviously it's a devastating stoppage loss. But many of my favourite fighters over the years have been taken out of one shot. Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, one shot. Lennox Lewis, came back from that and established himself once again as the best in the world. And Dereck, I think he's only just realised what his potential is. It's just the first, in my opinion, and in his and his teams, it's the first time he's actually trained like a professional athlete for a boxing match, and you saw the results there. Dillian White's had fight after fight, learning, improving. And Dereck was winning the fight. It's just one of those things. But that's what makes heavyweight boxing so exciting. Anything can happen at any time, and it wasn't Dereck Chisora's night tonight. It was Dillian White. So you have to give him a hell of a lot of credit. He really, boxed out of his skin, and he took some shots. He took a hell of a lot of shots, and they're both warriors. And I hope Dillian gets his world title shot. He deserves it. More than any heavyweight on the planet. He's, Joseph Parker, a prime. Dereck Chisora, Lucas Brown. What more does he need to do to deserve a crack? He's been mandatory for a while with the WBC, and all the other governing bodies have him very high. I hope he gets his shot. He deserves it. But for Dereck, I think he's going to regroup. See how he feels physically. Look at the heavyweight landscape. Enjoy his time with his family, and sort of next year at some stage we'll sit down and see how he's feeling and make a plan.
Anthony Joshua was obviously ringside tonight, supporting Dereck.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew was supporting Dereck, but most importantly, the fans love him.
Yeah.
They love him like every minute of every round. They were hyped for him. They were chanting his name. So you as a promoter, you've got a great property there. Yeah. And he's not really been to America to make a statement there. So you looking forward in 2019. Given your best world, where would you like Dereck to be? You taking him overseas. What's good for him now?
Well, what's good for him now is to have a vacation, to have a nice holiday, relax over Christmas, New Year's, enjoy his beautiful family, and make a plan. But as you said, there are many good quality heavyweights out there. There are 3 guys who are considered possibly number 1. If these guys don't fight each other soon, then they're going to need good quality opposition, you know. And Dereck's proven tonight that, you know, he can hang with the very best of them. And this was just after 1 good training camp. How about Dereck Chisora after 2, 3, 4 quality training camps? You know, I think he's only going to get better. He's learning with every fight, and this is the first step. You know, it was a tough, very tough fight, and he showed his heart, he showed his courage, he showed his determination, and showed what he's all about. He is War Chisora.
Like every championship level heavyweight, you've been on both sides of this equation. Yeah. So if you're willing to share your first words with Dereck once this fight had been finished, what did you communicate?
I'd say he should be proud of himself. It was a hell of a fight. You know, things happen that are out of our control, and you just play the best game you can with the cards you're dealt. You know, he was dealt, unfortunately, 2 points deducted, and he played the cards. He thought, okay, up 2 points deducted, I need to try harder, and that wasn't the thing to do. He didn't know what the official scorecards was. We didn't, but now he knows if he's ever in that position again. You know, it's a learning lesson. It was just 1 shot. It wasn't like he took a cluster of shots against the ropes. It was just 1 shot, put his lights out. He's back, he's fine. You know, he's a very tough human being. He's a very strong-willed person, and he'll be back. It's going to take more than 1 shot to get Dereck Chisora out of boxing.
I don't know anybody watching this fight that doesn't anticipate and can't wait to see Dereck Chisora back in the ring again. Congratulations on a great promotion, a wonderful fight. Radio Raheem with David Haye.